Welcome to Smart Health Talk with your host, Elaine McFadden.
Welcome, everyone. This is Smart Health Talk radio show, and we've got not only some in the news topics that are getting pretty heated right now, but we have some great suggestions on some products that you can buy and keep your diet organic. And there's been a lot of news that's come out that has been supporting all the reasons that we've been saying for 8 years that you want to, why you want to prioritize making sure that you get organic whenever you can. And we've given lots of suggestions on how to save money and buy organic. And I have some of the products that I have today to show you are some that I bought in bulk. And when you buy in bulk, you save a lot of money. For sure, Clark's has a bulk section. I think Sprouts does, but I'm not sure, because that's mostly where I go to get my bulk products. And things like rice and beans especially, you can get those in bulk for much cheaper, and you can bring your own bag, so we're not wasting more plastic bags as well. So always be conscious of your purchases, because I think most people out there have heard about the plastic problem, and that our ocean is becoming full of plastic. Our fish have plastic in them. We've got whales dying with pounds of plastic bags in their gut. I mean, it's just, this is us. This is our trash. So we need to take responsibility for it, and it's not really that hard. When you're buying products, try to avoid plastic. Like I use a reusable bottle that's BPA free, and there's some really great companies out there that offer a wide variety of choices. I have a special coffee cup that's like a thermos, and then I've got my water bottle, and then I've got a bigger one for when you're traveling and you want to bring extra. But there's no reason to have plastic. I go down to a really great guy down here in Loma Linda next to the Stater Brothers that has an incredible filtration system, and even offers the low pH water, which, considering some people are really acidic, and they've actually had success with certain patients with that, I say, hey, why not? It's just water. It is $1 a gallon versus the 25 cents you pay for the other, but the quality of water you're getting from this guy for 25 cents a gallon is just so good. I don't know why people would want to pay like $1.50 for a fraction of that. And then you end up with a piece of plastic that you have to deal with. And I really hope that people are being responsible, and number one, making sure that your trash ends up in the trash can. But more than that, we want to see what can be recycled. Now, if you already, after what we've said, are starting to have questions in your mind, like, what can I recycle? These are things that we have taken on here at Smart Health Talk multiple times. And if you go to our smarthealthtalk.com and go to our resources tab on the right-hand side, there's a drop-down of all different kinds of resources that can help you be a better shopper, because that's what was one of our main goals when we started Smart Health Talk to begin with, is for you to get more nutrition bang for your buck. And there's no doubt that organic is not only more nutritious, but it also has way less pesticides. We're talking like, 98 to 99% less pesticides. And for everything that we know about pesticides, it's not something that you want in your body. And so some of the things we're going to be talking in the news is going to be about people that are out there fighting for our family's health, their own health, for the health of our future generations, for our environment, our air, because the research shows without a doubt, and after I go through some of my in the news topics, I think you'll agree that these chemical companies that are selling these products and our government are failing us. They're lying to us, they're letting us down, and they're putting our health at risk. People have already died, I'm sure, thousands and thousands of people from these pesticides. And how many times have we had a pesticide like DDT that everyone said it's safe, it's safe, it's safe, it's safe, until it wasn't? And why wasn't it? Because it was actually destroying our entire environment. It was going to take it down. And we have other pesticides that are doing the same thing right now. Dicamba, neonicotinoids. These things are so destructive. Dicamba kills entire orchards, and it drifts for hundreds, if not thousands of miles. It's just so upsetting that these pesticides are being allowed when we have farmers growing organic and actually making like 76% higher profit than those that are growing conventional. And we are subsidizing out of our own taxpayer pocket. We just had $1 billion worth of crop loss due to flood. $1 billion. And I can guess that the gut of that, the brunt of that, is GMO crops. And we just bailed them out for like $20 billion because of Trump's tariffs. So now what? Plus, we subsidize them. You know, I just can't even believe all that's going on in this country, because not only are we subsidizing these GMO crops, which are not adding to our health whatsoever, but we are also subsidizing things like for people to not grow crops. I know people that actually have bought land just because they will get a check in the mail every single month from the government to not grow sugar in Florida. I'm not sure. I want to research more and find out, why they don't want people growing. Is it because it's going to add to the environmental burden because sugar is a GMO crop that requires lots of pesticide and fertilizer that's causing algae blooms all over Florida? I don't know. But the thing is, the way our food system is set up, we need to actually start over. This is like totally ridiculous. We need to put all our money into regenerative organic agriculture, because that's what reverses climate change. All these other things that we're doing is actually adding to climate change in groves. And I won't go into all the mechanisms because I want to get to our in the news subjects. But I hope that you will go and look this stuff up. Please go and find us on Facebook and other social media, because we post articles and research that helps substantiate the claims that we make on our show, because we actually do the research. We look for real facts. This is not some sensationalist show where we pump things up that are untrue just to get people to listen to us. When actually we have the kind of stuff that can save your life. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that we talk about here. But not just that. And there's so many different ways. You can't even believe how many people just die from air pollution. It's like 7 million people die from just air pollution. And we have something about asthma here on ways to prevent asthma. If you know someone that has had, asthma is just such a horrible disease. And the fact that we now have research that shows how we can prevent allergies and asthma, you're going to want to stay for that one. And especially the products that I have here. I bought some real goodies, everyone. Okay, let's get into the news and what's going on. Okay, healthcare number one. You know that I'm a registered dietitian. I have a master's in public health, which means I care about the public's health. And people that don't have health care, they die. Yeah, that's what happens. You don't have health care, you can die. very, very easily. As a matter of fact, we have something like 80,000 people that die just from not having health care every year. And yet we get all upset over like a 9/11 where 1,000 people died. And we have spent how much money as a result of that? And yet we have 70,000 people dying per year. And what are we doing? Oh, we're down in Washington, D.C. talking about taking away health care and pre-existing conditions, allowing the insurance companies to deny us health care. This is what we have been warning about ever since before the election. We knew this was coming. Anyone believed that this group of Republicans were for health care when they already tried to vote it out? If it was not for McCain, it would already be in place. People would already be dying from not having health care. So you have, we've went over it before, 60% of bankruptcies are a result of no health care. And it was not that person's fault necessarily, because that person could have done everything right, paid all their bills, their mortgage, their health care, had insurance their entire life, and then they got sick, and then their insurance company dropped them. Then they had a pre-existing condition, and then they can't get insurance. That's how people go bankrupt on health care, and it isn't even their fault. If you want to know the real down and dirty about healthcare, go to our website, smarthealthtalk.com, and right on the left-hand side of our homepage, we have two links, two things. One has a picture of Warren Buffett, because Warren Buffett says single-payer healthcare is good for businesses. And if you hear, and I notice that I'm not hearing any talk about how it's bad for business anymore from the Republicans, and that's because Warren Buffett came out and said it's good for business. They know better. So those of you that thought it wasn't, and those of you that think that single-payer health care means that you're paying extra so some poor person can be covered, you can just let that one go, because it's not true, and actually your health care is going to be less. Because what happens is you don't have to have that big chunk of health care taken out of your check every month the way that you are having it. And you're going to have a lot more services available probably too with the money that you get. And we are going to have an expert on single-payer health care on our show that is going to explain how we will actually make money in the billions and billions by implementing this program. I'll give you one example. When you have all these insurance companies and they all have hundreds of different codes for all these different healthcare problems that have to be coded in to get payment, a hospital has to hire as many as 550 employees to code all of those patients and to get reimbursed from the insurance companies. But when you just have single payer, it only takes 2 employees. That alone is a huge savings. So we have to look at the big picture, everyone, and we have to accept the fact that people are dying when they don't have health care. And are we going to allow that to happen here in our country? So I'm asking you, this is something we have to scream loud and hard. Not let these people get away with taking our health care away. No friggin' way. Okay? Now, something I got a huge response on my Twitter account, which we're on Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. That would be super fantastic if you would do that for us. And we've got some really great videos there for you too, including Dr. Seneff, which is, people just go nuts over her. So please find that. Kombucha Mama. That's another one of our favorite videos. If you've been thinking about kombucha, we have a great video from the lady that practically started it all. And she's got some great stuff if you type in Kombucha Mama and go to her website, because that's a great way to get fermented foods and the good bacteria that you need to keep your gut healthy. Now, Monsanto commercials. On CBS, I started seeing them playing Monsanto commercials to buy Roundup. I could not believe it. When we have had a $289 million settlement in California where the jury unanimously said that it caused cancer in a janitor at a school district, and we have there is like over 11,200 more plaintiffs who claim they were exposed to glyphosate that are suing the company. Well, we just had another case that came to a decision, a unanimous decision, and this was a federal jury, not a California state jury, and they found that Monsanto's Roundup weed killer caused a 70-year-old man's cancer, which was the second major blow for the company. And they said it was a substantial factor in his non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Now, what happened as a result of this one case, and remember, we still have 11,200 more, because we know without a doubt, it came out during the trial. Monsanto lied. They've been lying. They knew in the 1980s, our federal government knew in the 1980s that it caused cancer, and they still allowed it to be used. Let me tell you, some money, a few $1,000s here and there can make a big difference when you want to get something passed. Okay, Bayer. Bayer bought Monsanto. Their stock fell as a result of this 10% in one day, which no tears here, okay? Because I'm really pissed off at Bayer. Because not only are they playing Monsanto Roundup commercials, but they're still playing commercials saying that their aspirin lowers your risk of a heart attack. When we have solid research that has come out that says that that is false, that's a lie, it actually increases your risk of dying because you bleed. So you go in and you got the heart attack problem and you end up dying because you bleed out. That's why they took that away, and they said this is not helping. We have absolutely no research that shows that taking a low dose Bayer aspirin every day is going to reduce your risk of a heart attack. I hope everyone heard me clearly there, especially if you're taking these. All you're doing is buying a product that's making Bayer more powerful. Just don't even buy it. Don't buy Roundup. All of these products are causing cancer, causing harm to the environment, to our children, to bees, to butterflies, to birds, to our water, to our air, to our soil, to global warming. When we not buy these products, we are not spraying them around our house. We are not submitting our neighbors to that poison, which they did not ask for. Because I tell you, it does not stop at your property line. It drifts right over into the neighbor's house and the neighbor next to them and the neighbor next to them. And birds need insects. And we're killing all the insects. So birds don't even have anything to eat. Most of what they eat are insects. And so if you love birds and you want us to have lots of birds for pleasure and because they're great for the environment, then please don't use Roundup. Please don't use Scott's either, or any of those weed and feeds on your grass, because I have watched my monarchs, I have watched bees, they like grass. They go hang out in there. They go, take nectar from dandelions that have grown there. So if you're using these products, the poison is in the nectar, and it kills them. So I'm asking, please don't do that. Now, this was a huge one. Listen to this. This, to me, is one of the biggest news of all that I am going to give you today. Okay. Harrell's, which is actually a distributor of products like Scott's, like Roundup, because they sell to people that do landscape turf management. They're out of Florida, and they have now released a letter saying that they have made a decision to discontinue distribution of all glyphosate products, all of them, because they come not just as Roundup. Glyphosate is in all kinds of other products as well. So this huge distributor in Florida has decided that they're going to stop distributing all glyphosate products. Now, why do you think that is? It's not because they don't want to do it. I'll tell you that. They still want to do it. And they say, oh, the research shows it's safe. They obviously haven't read very much about the research. Or the Monsanto poison papers. Just type that one in search. Monsanto poison papers. He must not have gotten the memo on that one. But the reason that he is not going to be selling all glyphosate products anymore was that he got a letter. It came time for his annual insurance renewal, and they were surprised to learn that their insurance company are no longer willing to provide coverage for claims related to glyphosate due to the recent high-profile lawsuit and the many thousands of lawsuits since. Now, how about that? Wasn't that just what I said that insurance companies do? You know, as soon as it gets tough, they're gone. They actually spend 30% on admin where Medi-Cal pays 2%, the regular insurance companies, because they're looking for sick people so they can drop them before they cost them more money. So believe me, this is the kind of thing that they're getting ahead of, and you can see they're already implementing their plan. No more coverage of glyphosate. That to me was a really big one. If insurance companies are not going to cover it anymore, I didn't even think of that one. That's a good way for us to get rid of it. Insurance companies are saying no. Wow. Okay, so let's see, what was the next thing I was going with here? Okay. We also have new research that came out that says that when we substitute, see, this is all supporting my argument here. This is like new research that just came out like in the past 2 weeks. And we've been on the air saying this for 8 years. And now research is coming out like crazy that's supporting all these things we've been telling everyone all along. Because we base what we say here on Smart Health Talk on science. Science and math, the facts, where we have good sources, not some made-up study by the chemical company, which they do every time we have a good study come out that talks about how organic is better or how their products are toxic. They come out with a study. And if you read what's been going on in these trials, you'll find that it comes out in the trials that they ghostwrite. They actually ghostwrite those research papers. They write them, then they hand them to a scientist and have them just put their name on it. But Monsanto wrote the research study. Like, oh, just let us do it. You just put your name on it, scientist. That's all we need you for. Okay. So a new study came out, and I just think this is just incredible because what were we just talking about a little bit ago? We were talking about growing sugar in Florida and that this fertilizer that they use that actually comes from fracking. Because the fertilizer that they're using is made from petroleum. So when we support conventional agriculture, we're also supporting fracking. How many people out there want to see more fracking in this country when we know it's actually destroying our underground water supply? And they put, I actually have the list of the fracking chemicals. It's mind-blowing. I mean, some of the most toxic chemicals of all that they put down there to break up the shale. And they put that down there, and then what? And they use like 1 million gallons of water per fracking unit per day. It's just mind-blowing. And then they take that after they've contaminated that water with all of these chemicals. They transport it to Ohio, and they put it down a disposal well. That's getting rid of it, right? It's disappearing, going into nowhere. It's not going to go contaminate any other underwater water supply, right? And that's why legislation at the federal level has been going on to make it so that the underground water cannot be regulated. Yeah. Oh, I wonder why they want to do that. Oh, well, maybe from all that stuff they're dumping down the disposal wells that comes from the fracking industry. So this fertilizer is so high in nitrogen, it's not normal whatsoever. Even manure doesn't have that much. Manure is not causing algae blooms. It's fracking fertilizer that is. Okay, so what does the new study say? Substituting organic manure for compound fertilizer increases yield and decreases NH3 and NTO emissions in an intensive vegetable production systems. Whoa. And what were these emissions? Oh, these are the things that cause global warming. So that means that all this conventional farming that's using this fracking fertilizer is like pumping out these gases that are adding to global warming. But when we substitute organic manure or compost, which is manure with other things in it that is set and it's composted, so it actually doesn't even stink. It smells like soil, like real soil. Okay, healthy soil. And it also says that it decreased gaseous nitrogen losses and increased yield, reducing NH3 under organic manure substitution should be considered. So that was their conclusion, that we should consider changing back to the old way of doing things. We need to support organic dairies. Unfortunately, I can't recommend Horizon Organic because that's a factory farm, but trust me, not all of these dairies are Horizon. Most of them are incredible families that have dedicated their life to bringing us the cleanest food that we could ask for. And organic has always been the clean food source. It always has been, and it will, except for the hydroponic contamination. And we have a lawsuit going right now because hydroponic does not belong in the organic program. They can say that they used organic chemicals with it and say that on the label and have some special hydroponic certification. But what's happening is people are buying these organic hydroponic foods, which are like a zombie on an IV, and they're eating organic maybe for the first time, and they're not wowed. They're just like, maybe not so great. So the hydroponic industry is actually destroying the organic industry by putting out subpar produce that would Organic. The real organic, like grown in soil, not some bucket with an IV attached. Okay, and I want to recommend that you understand that if something is out of season, like when you're buying tomatoes in December, you have to know that it is hydroponic, and it's coming from Mexico too. All right? These things, when they're not in season and you're finding them for sale and they say they're organic, they're hydroponic. We actually should be eating food in season because that is not brought from a long distance. It could be local. And it's actually better for our systems because our systems are made to go with the food that's in season. It's compatible with us for when there isn't as much sun. You have different kinds of foods that maybe, actually help keep us warmer. But they're very concentrated foods. The squashes and that, like super concentrated vitamin A, carrots, the root vegetables. These are all super concentrated, incredible foods that we have during the wintertime. So, but, this is really making me angry because people trying organic for the first time aren't getting a true experience of what it really tastes like. If you want that, go to the farmer's market. Please, let's quit letting these people feed us food that has been adulterated multiple different ways and isn't even the true form of that food. I just think my body deserves the very best, and my family deserves the very best. It's just as easy to go to the farmer's market as it is the grocery store. As a matter of fact, it's like way easier because we cut out all that crap that you shouldn't even be buying anyway. And instead, you focus on the healthy foods when you're there. So just go to eatlocalgrown.com, type in your zip code, and you'll find all the local farmers markets. You can find all the local farmers. You can call farmers, and they'll actually deliver right to your house. You can buy bulk meat. I buy bulk Alaskan seafood. We buy it in bulk and stick it in our big freezer. And oh my gosh, I had cod the other day. That cod that we got directly from Alaska, that I know it came right from the fishermen. It didn't go to some distributor somewhere, in some truck, or ship, or who knows where it sat, and did it stay the temperature it was supposed to stay the whole time. I mean, I get it right from Alaska overnight, and I mean, to me, there's no better way. When you get it direct from the people that are catching it or growing it, that's the only way you can ensure that, like, all these other weird things didn't happen to it, because they're fumigated. Food is fumigated multiple times on the way, and then they gas them with pesticides. They gas them with ethylene gas. So trust me, this is the best way to go, and you're going to get the best price too. And you may say, oh, but it's the same price as the store. Yeah, but it's going to last longer because it was just picked. It's probably way bigger. And I guarantee the taste is going to be worth it. And plus, you get to meet the people that grew your food. And trust me, they're some of the best people that you'll ever meet. All right, so this is another reason, okay? So another thing that just came out is gene-edited soybean oil is going to be touted as non-GMO. So they're going in and editing and playing around with genes and, creating these seeds and growing food. And now they're not even going to tell us that they did that. Another reason to buy organic. And so a Minnesota company hopes their high oleic soybean oil will eventually become a market competitor to olive oil. Some gene-edited thing. They want to put the olive oil people out of business with their freaking gene-edited thing. Okay, glyphosate found in 19 of 20 beers and wines tested. Now, another thing that came out is sodas, diet sodas, whatever, making tumors in your gut grow faster. Well, that's because, all these sodas, people, what they do, I was talking about the pH water earlier and having too many acid foods in your diet that actually increases Well, I should say decreases, because when you're more acidic, the number is lower. When you're more alkaline, the number is higher. It's above 7 versus below 7. When you're eating all these high acidic foods like sodas, a lot of meat products are high acidic, junk food, fried foods. When you're eating a lot of these foods and you're actually creating an environment inside of your body that makes it super easy for the bad guys to flourish. As soon as your body becomes more acidic, you become a more desirable place for the bad guys. Yeah, they can just like multiply like crazy in those environments. When you eat just healthy food and you're not drinking all those sodas and that, it makes it really hard for them. They don't have a good environment to flourish. So it didn't surprise me at all that something like aspartame, which we have a huge section on our resources page about aspartame, and also sulfites is on the same page as that. We know that we have been saying for a long time that these diet sodas are bad, and they make you fat. There are so many things that are making you fat. All these fake perfumes, all the Febreze, all these like detergents and fabric softeners, and all these different additives they want you to put to your laundry, the soaps, the shampoos, the air fresheners. All of these have hormone disruptors in them that make you fat. So when you start eliminating those and go with the organic essential oils if you want smells, and get rid of these fake fragrances out of your life. If you're trying to lose weight and you can't lose weight, this could be one of the things. Think about what you use on your skin, what's in your home. Okay? High fructose corn syrup. There's a big lawsuit between the two beer companies. I think that's so funny because of the Super Bowl ad where Bush is like, oh, no, we don't have high fructose corn syrup, but you other guys do. And we're thrilled that they took the high fructose corn syrup out, because we have known for a very long time how they actually make high fructose corn syrup. They put it through the same machines that they make chlorine bleach. Yeah. And inside these machines are giant containers of mercury. And after a period of time, they have to replace the mercury because it goes somewhere, okay? And high fructose corn syrup isn't even really a food. It's a very negative inside of your body. And all of these things are adding and to what is, making you gain weight. And aspartame is faking you out, because when these diet drinks actually do make you fat. When the sugar sweet taste touches your tongue, it tricks your brain into thinking that food's on the way, and so it secretes insulin. And when there's no food, no sugar to take inside the cell, all that insulin is just sitting there circulating through your body, which is not a good condition to be in. Okay, we have entire states trying to ban pesticides. The state of Oregon is actually trying to ban not all pesticides, but certain pesticides, ones that Trump allowed as soon as he was elected because they destroy our kids' brains, like chlorpyrifos. They try to say, one farmer is like talking about, all the concerns about it, how toxic it is, how the neonicotinoids are killing the bees and the birds, and how this chlorpyrifos is destroying our kids' brains. And then another farmer is just saying, well, we need it for it's cost effective. Well, actually, we had an economic expert on here, and atrazine, number 2 most used pesticide, only increases yields by 4% and contaminates every single waterway, our air, our soil, and is causing gender change in our children. And it's lowering the testosterone in men, so it's feminizing our men as well. So an increase of 4% is nothing, and it is not even close to being worth all of the destruction that pesticide has caused. So whenever you hear that argument, just throw it out. It's not even a good argument, and say, show me the numbers, because they don't have any, okay? Now, a new study came out that raw cow's milk is protective against allergies and asthma. And they really did a great study here in Europe. And what they found was that just by drinking the raw milk, we know that being on the farm alone was protective, but they were able to prove that even the non-rural kids that drank the raw milk, it lowered their risk of allergies and asthma substantially. And so the question is, why aren't we going back to raw milk? Why do we have SWAT teams showing up at co-ops for raw milk, seizing, all kinds of documentation and all the milk and trying to totally put these people out of business? Unless they're there for the big corporate dairy industry. And if you type in Organic Valley farmers in YouTube, just listen to meet some of those farmers that grow for Organic Valley milk. They're just such incredible people. I fall in love with all of them because they're all just so special in their own way. Okay. So that was our In the News, and I hope there was something there in all of that you guys took away with. Let's get on to our organic products because we only have 10 minutes left. Okay, what do I got here? Okay, I was really excited, everyone, because there is a really great online company. It's called nuts.com, and I got bulk berries. And these are dried berries that I just got, and I'll let you know some of the type I got. Well, I got organic dried strawberries. You may have heard on the news the top 10 highest pesticide, and then they act like all the other ones are safe, and they're not. They all have pesticide on them too. But strawberries, absolutely the worst of the worst. Never eat a non-organic strawberry. Unfortunately, most of them are hydroponic, but at least it's better than all the pesticides that you get on the conventional. Now, I did open the purple mulberries, and I got the purple ones because these dark purple berries, elderberries as well. Frontier Co-op has dried elderberries, and I just put water and put it on the stove and boil it for like 10 minutes. Let it set with the lid on and then strain it. And I've been drinking that elderberry juice. I'm trying to drink it like 3 times per day because I had some problems myself, and it's really been helping me a lot. And I plan to make that a habit. But these dried mulberries, I love mulberries, but it's like a pain in the butt to like pick them off the tree. These are like soft and chewy and absolutely delicious. And I tell you, these are the kind of foods that are concentrated with nutrition, these organic berries. Okay, I also got some barberries, and I'm excited to try those because I haven't tried them yet. And they're supposed to be super concentrated with antioxidants, so I'm pretty happy. And then, I got the strawberries, the mulberries, and then those are the only ones that I brought. And then they sent me a sample of some organic dried mango, which I thought was really cool. Mango is one of my absolute favorites, and it's super high in vitamin A, which apricots, mangoes, those are the two of the really good sources for that, and that vitamin A, and of course carrots and any other orange vegetables. Now, Organic Traditions, I do feel kind of bad for them because another study that just came out, they're a Canadian company, they sell a lot of Canadian honey. A new study that came out said 98% of Canadian honey is contaminated with glyphosate. 98%. Those people are not using glyphosate. That is drifting over onto other plants of which the bees are taking the nectar from. So that is solid evidence on just how much glyphosate and these pesticides are spreading to everything. We cannot have anything friggin' pure anymore. But Organic Traditions is a great company. They have really good discounts and bulk products. And they have some new products here called a turmeric latte, a beet latte, a matcha latte with probiotics and vanilla, and a chocolate latte with ashwagandha and probiotics. And that is I probably said it wrong, but I'll tell you, comes from I'm pretty sure it's a tree. in Africa, and it's one of the most concentrated food sources out there. So Organic Traditions, check out their website. They have a lot of good discounts on coconut oil and great things like that. Oh, here's my other berry. Okay, what were the other berries I got, dried sour cherries. And the reason is sour cherries have boron, and almost all athletes either drink tart cherry juice or eat like these dried sour cherries. And it really makes a difference in your joints. Those of you out there suffering with arthritis or joint pain, I highly recommend get tart cherry juice or eat some of these organic sour cherries. Okay, another really interesting company. I was trying to find the other product that I had of theirs. This is just a stone ground wheat snack called waffles, and it's just like a little waffle. It's got blueberry in it, and it's by Sprout. I thought it was the Honey Stinger one. Honey Stinger is kind of an interesting company. All their stuff's organic pretty much, and they're for athletes that are doing bicycling, running, and they have organic products that give you the carbohydrates that you need as you're doing your event, like a marathon or something like that. They have lots of different products. Go check them out, Honey Stinger. Here, we absolutely hate Gatorade, and Gatorade was in the group products that they said increased your risk of heart attack and cancer. And we have a perfect substitute for you here. It is called Halo Sport. And I have their pink grapefruit and their original lemon. And this is a dehydration drink. Although most people aren't exercising enough to be dehydrated and they're drinking Gatorade when they probably should just be drinking water would be fine, because that's no calories, and Gatorade has other chemicals in it that make it glow that are not good for your liver. So I would recommend not buying Gatorade, and instead, why don't you try Halo Sport? That's a good substitute. And right here is my absolute, the big food show I went to last week. This was my absolute favorite drink. I am not someone that goes and buys drinks. I normally make my own tea at home. I'm not a big juice drinker. I think of a lot of it as empty calories. But this drink from Trio, Organic Trio, fruit and birch water. And this one was blueberry. And birch water is actually, it comes from the birch tree. So they're taking the sap, just like maple, out of the tree. And this is birch sap. And so they make this birch water, and they added the fruit they added to it. This was the best tasting drink. Oh my gosh. I bet I could even just smell inside the bottle and want some of it, because it was so good. So Trio, Treo, everyone, fruit and birch water. I tell you, it is so good. And it only had 10 calories and 1 gram of sugar for the whole bottle. And it had so much flavor. So many of these drinks, I'm very disappointed. They're not giving me that flavor, satisfaction that I'm looking for. Now, I need to get my video up on our YouTube. We had an interview with Desert Shadow, and I'm so excited because I just got one of their hair colors, which is it's kind of like a henna. It has all these great plant products in it, and you leave it on your hair for hours. But it is like doing some incredible stuff. So Desert Shadow, everyone, check that one out. Okay, let's see. Can we fit in one more? Okay, let's fit in a protein drink, because I hate Ensure with a passion. It's purely GMO. That Glucerna, forget it. Just use chia seeds, okay? Glucerna's a joke. Okay, here is a purely inspired organic protein. We have 20 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, 24 vitamins and minerals, and it's 100% organic. Why would you buy, these other products when you can have an organic source here? I highly recommend Purely Inspired. Go check out their organic protein drink, and please, choose an organic source. Of course, food is always the best source. And I tell you, I am so excited about my berries because you know what? These are so easy to just throw into a container and take with you. So if you get hungry, there you go. You've got this great concentrated food source. You're not eating junk. You're not eating fast food. Take control of your food, everyone. Plan ahead. Take your food with you. That's how you ensure that you're always getting the best food for your body. And go shop. Go get food, but buy the best and go to the farmer's market, and you'll find that it's going to last much longer. You're going to save money and lack of spoilage. Okay. Well, we've got to wrap our show up here. Thank you so much for listening and staying with us this entire hour. I'm your host, Elaine McFadden, registered dietitian with a Master's of Public Health, and I want you to be healthy and energetic and live a long time. Watch your kids grow up, grandkids grow up, and be around, okay? So listen to our podcast on iHeartRadio. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.